5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's so strange here. I feel welcome. Like I can be who I am and I'll be accepted, loved. This place is weird. But I'm weird. Where the fuck am I?
Do you know where you are?
What?
Do you know where you are?
I'm what?
Say what one more motherfucking time. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Say what again? Do you know where you are?
No?
You're in the Scafacci-verse, baby. You're gonna die.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the Scafacci-verse. My name is Alan Gigax. I'm here with
Anthony Scafacci.
Hell yeah. And it is in swing now. We are cruising in the Scafacci-verse. We are getting planted. We are getting ready. And that's why we know it's the first shit we got to do.
Yep.
Call to action.
Yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for joining the Scafacci-verse, for lifting off on your own.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
And joining us on this journey.
Like a fucking rocket.
That's right, man. Out into the cosmos.
Yeah.
Where a lot of this shit goes down, dude.
does.
We're fucking doing things, and it's exciting. And I want to thank our members of the SAC that are always listening. Eric Vinny Dixon, Nick Leonard.
Yeah.
I want to thank, Andrew Nickerson and Tim, Tim, God damn it, Tim McCall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris Barton.
Chris Barton. Yeah.
Dude.
Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
dude,
Dude,
I
who
mean-
made our theme music.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I want to
Dude.
thank you guys, man. You guys are with us every single week. You guys listen every single week. Guys from my work listen every single week. It's great, man. So
Yeah, and the SAC also helps to support our sponsors who in
Yep.
turn support the show.
absolutely.
And our favorite sponsor, I mean, we shouldn't have a favorite because they all
Yeah.
make the show
But
go.
this is one of our
But
first,
it
man.
really is.
yeah, and
It's-
so it's time to do just the tip, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. And it'll
okay.
be sponsored by this sponsor,
Okay.
the He Held On Foundation.
Oh, the salt
Help-
of the earth.
They are. They're good folks there.
Yep.
Helping the elderly achieve their bucket list thanks to your generous financial donations.
Absolutely, I love them.
Yes. And now it is time for Just the Tip.
Yep.
And my tip is, so this kind of came up on a previous episode, but I want to get into it as a tip, which is when you're lining up for a run, if you're playing the computer, not if you're playing against
gaming tip
Anthony.
today.
Yeah, as it turns out, as we discussed in a previous episode, if you're playing against Anthony and he knows you do this, it's going to backfire.
Yeah.
But you're playing against a computer and the computer's stupid. So when you're going to run, you want to count the defenders and measure that against your offensive linemen. So your center is, of course, the middle of your formation. And on one side of the ball, you're going to have 3 linemen, maybe. If you include the tight end, the other side, you're going to have 2. Count how many defenders are on that side as well. And I usually like to predict whether my center and guard are going to double team the person in front of them, go out to the linebacker, and you can kind of predict how they're going to block. And if you see on one side of the ball or the other that you have a mismatch, flip the play to that side.
Yeah, well, or you can sometimes take a guy like a tight end or something, put him in motion and
Yep.
create that the numbers advantage for you. And then if you use that, I use a lot of motion, and then sometimes I'll motion somebody for just no reason, especially
Yep.
if I'm playing a player, because they think, oh, he's going to follow the motion, and then I go
Right.
the other way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ah, you button hooked them.
Yeah.
Take that right in your bunghole.
All right. So
Yep.
hey, so you know what? I want to get to the main topic for this episode.
Okay.
Right. And
What
it's-
is that
it-
topic?
it is drama in your league. Right. How to handle it. What to make of it. What if you're just if you're running the league or you're just a member of the league?
Right.
There's a lot of drama, man. You get online where people feel anonymous.
Right.
Right. They can talk shit to each other and things like that. And there's not a lot of consequences.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, and people do a lot of fucked up shit because
Yeah,
they're like,
'cause they're not
whatever.
gonna get punched in the face.
Exactly, because they're not going to get punched in the face. And so all you see is that there's drama. Usually starts in the league. It'll kind of fester for a little bit.
Especially if you're not proactive about tamping it down or staying on top of it.
Sure, and some commissioners kind of like the drama. A lot of people kind of like the drama.
Yeah,
And-
that's why it keeps happening, I guess.
yeah, and then so what happens is eventually it'll boil over, right?
Right.
And it'll just be fucking mad drama either on a message board or whatever, people start to get upset at each other. And eventually, like, you start to lose people in
Right,
your
people
league.
quit the league. Yeah.
Right? Because some people, dude, they just want to play, man. They don't want all the bullshit. They just want to get on there. They just want to play. And, you know, others, dude, are in it because they think it's like mental warfare, you know, and like they're trying to get the edge. And so they're going to talk shit.
Right.
But, dude, it's easy to talk shit from 297 miles away or 500 miles away or whatever. You would never do that shit sitting next to somebody that can fucking just stomp a hole in you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so you kind of, I mean, like I said, you see these leagues where they'll go and just put each other on fucking blast. And, you know, what do you do about that? Like, what is causing all the drama? And, you know, the answer, it's usually pretty simple. People can't take an L.
Yeah, that's it. They cannot handle losing games.
Yeah, and not only can they not handle losing games, it's one thing to lose a game in your own offline dynasty by yourself and nobody knows
sees it. Right.
It's another thing for 31 other people or whatever to be like, bro, you got fucking dogged.
Right.
Like,
You
you know,
feel
48-3.
Yeah.
And so dude, they don't like that, right? And so, you know, immediately they start calling out the other person's play style, the plays they're using.
Right. The other person's a cheater, a cheeser, whatever it is. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. I had lag, you know, whatever
Dude.
excuses.
You name it. They pulled their hamstring. You know.
Right, exactly.
And so, yeah,
Sun
all
was
these
in
things.
my eyes.
Yeah. Sun was in my I was too drunk.
Yeah.
You name it, right?
Right.
You know. And so these things start to happen and you lose players. And, you know, like, what is it that you can do about that? You know, in your opinion?
Yeah. So the big thing is, if you can, you want to be selective about who you invite into your league.
Oh yeah, that's kind of the first thing. Is try to
Right.
vet the people that.
Yeah. So
you invite.
there's two ways to go about that. One way is people you already know, you know, and so maybe you can't have a league that has 30 players in it. But dude, in my opinion, it's way better to have a good league with 10 players in it than to have a shit league with 30 players in it.
Yeah, and I think there's kind of this feeling like, well, it allows 32, so I have to have 32.
Right.
And I remember back before the game was released, people were talking about having every team.
128 or whatever.
Oh yeah, they were gonna do madness level shit.
Right.
Right. And I mean, like, I couldn't even imagine wrangling that many people. It's
Right.
hard enough in our dad's league.
Right, we're going to have 128 teams, and we're going to have a 24-hour advance.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Who the fuck can manage that?
Yeah.
Right? It's like running a company at that point.
Right. So to get back to answering the question, being selective about who you let in, not everybody has 10 friends who all have NCAA, who all want to be in a league, who are all on the same advance schedule. So the other way to be selective is to, question people who come into your league. You know, you can have them fill out a questionnaire, or you can just ask them questions. Hey, before you come in, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? Or the other side of that is that you lay out your expectations. That, hey, this is what kind of league it is. And we did that with the Dad's League.
Yeah.
Where we said this is going to be a chill league. It's not super competitive. We're
Business
not-
casual.
Yeah, business casual. And it's not going to be this fast advanced schedule. It's going to be chill.
Yeah.
And it has been.
Yeah, and for the most part, we've had relatively low turnover.
Right. And you got to be able to take losses.
Yeah, and everybody, for the most part, the
Right.
people that we have lost, dude, it's because they took a loss.
Almost 100%.
Yeah,
It's been
and-
because they
and-
got beat.
Yeah, they got beat on, and that was it. And like the other day, I was talking about in season 3. It might have been season 2 or season 3. I lost 2 back-to-back games by a combined like 84-3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it
right?
happens.
I got fucking mollywopped.
Right.
And lost big time. And it sucked. I hated losing, but oh well, you lose, right? Sometimes you're going to play people better than you. They just have a great game. You have a bad game. And things can snowball pretty quick in
Yeah.
the game where it can
Yeah,
just
you
get
start
out of
having
control.
to force it, and then you throw interceptions, and then that's it, dude.
I mean,
It's
you want
over.
to talk about taking an L. I fucking won a game in our side league, and it still gave me a loss. Right?
Yeah, there's a glitch like that.
I took
yeah.
a fucking L on a W.
Right.
And like, if you can't, so I don't ever want to hear anybody bitching. Like
Right.
when people on in the Dad's League start whining
Yeah.
about fucking a loss, I'm like, fuck you, I won.
Yeah, and still got the loss.
an
Right.
L. And
you
I'm
just
here.
eat it. Yeah.
you just eat it, dude.
Because
Go
there's
on.
no money on the line. There's
No.
nothing, dude. Who cares?
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, dude. If losing a game
Right.
is the worst thing that happened to you, you're doing great,
Yeah, exactly.
right? So there's
But on the other side, like if winning a game is the best thing to happen to you,
Yeah.
you don't have much to hang your
then
hat
you need to
on.
go out and touch some fucking grass. dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Do something, man.
Yeah, so setting those expectations about what the culture of the league is going to be, what's expected of the players. We get people on the Facebook group on EA Sports College Football Headquarters who have like this big list of the way their league's going to be run, and they get clowned on the page, which we wind up deleting because we don't support that culture. But dude, really, that's the way to do it, because now if people sign up for that league, they know what they're in for.
Well, I can tell you from writing lots of things on our page, people don't read shit.
No, they don't read.
No,
yeah,
dude,
that's true.
they just see that there's a league with an opening, and maybe they could be Ohio State or whatever.
Yeah, good, fair
and,
point.
They're like, fuck the rules. I'm just gonna go and play, and then. But what we see is it's a few people in particular. I'm not gonna go call them out.
Yeah, that's
right. But that it seems like every day they are advertising for refills of the
Right.
league, right? So their leagues are pretty full, maybe 28, 29 teams or whatever, but they are constantly dealing with turnover.
Right.
And my opinion on that is like, just have a smaller league. Have 18 people, have 16 people, have 22 people.
Right.
Whatever that number is, that your league functions and is stable
Yep.
is better than being on this just never ending search for players that are not getting vetted. They're just like, is Oregon open? And I'm in.
Yeah, right.
Or
And they
whoever.
just play a couple games and they're
Yeah,
back
they,
out.
they play 1 or 2 games, they get fucking beat,
Right.
and then they're out. Or they play 1 or 2 games, they stir up a ton of shit
Right.
because of their play style, and you lose a good member,
Right.
right, who is sick of dealing with these fucking idiots who come into the league for an hour and a half, play a game, shit on everybody, and then fucking bounce.
Yeah,
There's
true.
just a problem. And so, like, it's up to, my opinion, the commissioner or the owner of the league, the commissioner, and have a little help and be, more communication. Communicate with your owners or your coaches and get them in and build that culture of the league, because the culture will hold out. The culture will keep things going and will stop the drama before it gets out of control more often than not. If you have a good culture,
It's not unlike the way we run the Facebook group itself.
Yeah.
Is that, hey, these are our rules. We're going to, treat each other with respect. We're not going to shit on other people's enjoyment, things like that. And more importantly, we have a very active administrator who enforces it.
yeah, and our moderators,
Yeah, our
enforce it.
moderators do to a lesser degree.
they see
Yep.
it, but they'll like
I delete
reach out
posts
to me.
every now and
yeah,
then.
or they'll
Yeah.
hey, what about this? And hey, no, I'm like, fuck it, just get rid of it, nip it in the bud,
Right.
before it really gets rolling, because those kind of things, man, they tend to spread.
Absolutely. And you have wind up with this terrible culture.
Yeah, and then it becomes just acceptable to just shit on everybody.
Right. So
And-
when we see a post that, somebody says like, oh man, I just had this great game and I threw for 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then the replies, oh, you're probably playing on freshmen.
Yeah,
That's
who
the kind of
cares?
post
Let
we
'em fucking
delete.
play
Yeah,
on
dude, let
freshmen.
them have fun. Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what the game's for.
Exactly. Right? Who cares? Like, the only time it really becomes a thing is when somebody is feeling themselves a little too much. And, it's like a look at me post is what I always called them.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, look at me. I just rushed for 710 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Right.
If you're going to put that spotlight on yourself, then people are going to
Yeah. They are.
question it.
Right.
So, that a little that's on
Yeah.
you.
Well, like what level are you playing on? That's okay. That's
Yeah.
different from, oh, you're probably playing on freshmen and you
Exactly.
suck.
But
Yeah.
but that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
But you get this drama in the leagues, okay?
Right.
And then so you have these leagues that are constantly refilling players. And after doing this for long enough and seeing enough of these leagues, I'll tell you who the problem is.
Okay.
The problem is the commissioner, the owner, who
I would
whatever you
agree
want
with
to
that.
call it, who is not doing enough on their end to limit the bullshit in their
Right.
leagues.
And in many cases, they're cultivating.
Yeah, they themselves are the drama. I tell you, there's something that you see it. You see it a lot.
Uh-huh.
People getting kicked out of leagues because they beat the owner of the
Right.
league.
Yeah.
And that is like the cardinal sin.
Yep.
And so that's it. They're gone. And then you'll see a post pop up on it like, hey, don't play in so-and-so's league
Right.
because he'll kick you if you beat him.
Yep.
Right. And it's like that kind of stuff, man. If you aren't mature enough to take an L,
Right.
right,
You got
in
no
a
business
league
being a
you're
commissioner.
running, then you got no business being a commissioner. Just
Right.
just leave that to somebody
And
else.
we see posts too where like the very first thing in their league is you will not disrespect the
Oh.
commissioner or you're going to be gone. No
Yeah.
second chances. Like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, that's a red flag right
yeah,
there.
exactly. Either
Yeah.
that means you get disrespected a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, what? Why are you being so disrespected?
Yeah.
It's probably because you're a problem. You
Right.
bring that shit on yourself. You're not respecting other people.
Exactly.
And so then they don't turn
Yeah,
around
you're
and
the common
respect
thread.
you. Yeah, you're the common thread. And you're the face or the voice of the league. You're the trendsetter. You're the one who's supposed to make things go.
Yep.
And so, those are kind of things that I see a lot. And
When you run
Yeah.
a league, you have an obligation to the people in your league to run a reasonable league, to run it fairly, to make sure that like the rules apply to everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly
Including
that
yourself.
including yourself. That's what that disrespect thing kind of comes from, where the commissioner will do something, like they'll play their own game 5 times
Oh,
until
yeah.
they win. But then if somebody else does it, oh, you can't do that. And they're doing the same shit themselves.
or you see, what they'll do? They'll edit
edit
their own
players,
They'll edit
yeah.
their own players.
Yeah, because
right?
only the commissioner can do that.
Yeah,
or
because
only the owner.
yeah, well, you can
Right.
set it to where you're the only person that can do it.
Right.
And so they'll bump their running back up to
Right.
more speed. Their defensive end, a couple more speed or this or that.
Yep.
And it's because, dude, when you're the commissioner of the league,
Right.
there's kind of an expectation like you're the best player in the league.
Like-
no, that's not always the case. I
Right.
mean,
when Anthony and I used to coach youth football,
yeah.
there was a team that was run by the commissioner of the
Mean Green.
Yeah, the Mean Green of the Pop Warner
Yeah.
Football League. And they had this quarterback who was an absolute monster, and he lived in our neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
The neighborhood that should have gone to our fucking team.
Yeah, and I think his name was Jerry or something like that. He was
Yeah,
like,
the commissioner,
well, there was a couple of them, but there was like Jerry. His team was like the Thunderbirds or something like that. And
Okay.
that team didn't lose a game for like 7 years.
Right.
Right. And
Dude, and they had like nice jerseys that
Oh,
were all
yeah.
like tight and clingy.
or actually, the Tar Heels is what they were.
Yeah, that's
they
what
were
it
the
was,
Tar
yeah.
Heels.
Yeah.
And they had those
The
sick
best equipment.
Tar Heels
Right, the
jerseys.
blue and black
And
or
that
whatever,
team
the
had like
light
a
blue,
7
dark
or
blue.
8 year winning streak.
Yeah.
Where like I remember they finally lost a game to some like California team, and it was like, oh my god, they lost a game. But yeah, I bet you that California team was just as fucking
You stack.
corrupt
Right.
as
And
they
that's
were.
that's the corruption, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's you're unleveling the playing field on purpose.
Yeah.
So that you can have the advantage.
Yeah, I watched that team play a lot because they would play right after us because of the level we
they
were
were the
at.
next
They were
step
they were
up.
the next step up, so I
Right.
watched them play a lot. And I would watch like the stuff they're running, dude. It wasn't that they were like running some newfangled offense that nobody could
Right.
figure out.
It was just
Dude,
they had the best players.
Dude, they had the horses, bro, and
Yeah.
it was like nothing but horses.
Dude, especially at that level, at
yeah,
the Pop Warner level.
they were like 11-year-olds.
yeah, you get 3 kids who can play. They're going to
yeah.
take
Well, they
over
had
the
like
game.
15, 20 kids that could play.
Yeah, they had all the kids who
Yeah.
could play in the league.
Yeah,
Somehow
that-
they'd wind up on
yeah,
that team.
Everybody's
So
cousin
weird.
lived in, they were
Yeah.
just using each other's different
Dude,
addresses
such
and
horse
shit like that. But yeah.
So when back in the good old days, Anthony and I had a fantasy football league.
yeah.
And guess who would win the fantasy football championship most years? The commissioner.
Yeah. Well,
Even when Eddie was the commissioner, he won. And that's
Yeah.
saying something because Eddie's terrible.
yeah. I'll tell you, I won the first 2.
Oh,
but
what a
dude,
coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I you know what it was though is the first 2 you guys hadn't caught on to fantasy football yet.
Maybe.
Right? And so my drafting, I had like Steve Young when Steve Young was like beast mode for the Niners, and my teams were legitimately stacked because you guys didn't quite understand how fantasy football worked yet.
Maybe
But
that's
by
true.
year 3, I was still the commissioner, but I wasn't winning anymore because you guys had totally caught up.
Right. So the
And then I didn't
commissionership-
win again for like
Quite a while.
12 years or something like
Yes,
that.
the commissionership changed hands a few times, but whoever was the commissioner back in the day when we used to have to do all this stuff by hand.
Fucking with the Sunday paper.
Yeah, the
Monday
commissioner
paper.
had these inherent advantages because they were on top of all the stats because they were dealing with them every week.
Yeah.
And so that was like in theory anybody could do that. But the other thing the commissioner had that nobody else did was access to free agency.
Yeah.
where who just got released, who's on the waiver wire, who's getting bid on, things like that. And the commissioner could take advantage of that knowledge.
Yeah.
So when I came in and I became the commissioner, I revamped it so that any piece of information I had access to, everybody else had access to the exact same information. It was all made public, and we all had like these same deadlines with the same rules. And I'm proud to say I never won a championship.
No.
In fact, I usually got my ass kicked.
Yeah, but so to tie it back to the game, though,
The commissioners have the same
that's
obligation.
the kind of thing is the commissioner has an obligation to like make sure everybody's on a level playing field,
Exactly.
including themselves.
Exactly.
And dude, I'll tell you that the lure of winning
Yeah.
is too much for a lot of people to handle.
But that's it, right? That's the mentality where I think we've got it right in the Dads League. Is like, yeah, this lure of winning, but for what?
Yeah.
You ain't getting anything.
Yeah, all of us got kids. Well, most of us got kids.
Right.
And so we've already lost. you
Right,
know?
yeah, exactly. It's more fun to win than to lose, but you still ain't getting anything. There's not money. Maybe if you have a money league, maybe. But then, you know what? You're fucking stealing.
Yeah, well,
you're doing that.
and most of those money leagues ain't playing for much money anyway.
Yeah, like $5 each or
Yeah, $10 each or whatever.
it is.
So. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that's it. I mean, that's pretty much the name of the game is, the drama in your league. Most of it is probably a result of poor management, right? Not setting expectations. Everybody welcome kind of like just come on in
Right.
and start playing.
Yeah, it's free for all.
I'll tell you, I saw this other guy on our page. He runs a league. He's actually on a few pages, but one of the things he does is he opens the league up to essentially like casual. So like, let's say you just had free time. Somebody else has got a player game, but it's against a computer.
Okay.
You could come in and just be the computer. And so like, you're like a random coach so that this guy has to play against a human.
That's interesting.
Right? It's kind of interesting, right? It's an interesting way to go about it so that no matter what, if you're just available and you want to play, that you're going to be Miami of Ohio versus whomever this other player is, he's
Right.
Louisville or whoever, right? You're going to play that game and you're just going to kind of like a pickup game style. It's kind of an interesting idea, but like every day he's out there hunting down members, right? Trying to
Right.
find people to play.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's like a full fucking time job.
Yeah, is that what you want to do as the commissioner?
Dude, yeah,
is that the fun
yeah,
part? I don't think so.
I'll tell you, I love running our page, but dude, I don't like the time commitment that it takes to keep it
Right. Keep it clean.
keep it
essentially.
clean and
Right.
everything like that. To stay on it and doing it then in a league and doing it, all these different ways, dude, it is a fucking drain. So let me tell you, try to clamp that shit down early, okay?
All right. And speaking of clamping it down, I'm going to go off topic here for just a second
Okay.
before we get to our sponsor.
Sure.
Because through the magic of editing, you guys don't know this, but somewhere in the podcast, there was a seamless pause. And we picked back up right from that pause because I was clamping down on a shit that just had to come out.
Yeah, I didn't want to out you.
Yeah, that's
but
okay.
you're
I'm going to
gonna
out
out
myself.
yourself.
I ain't
Go
shy
ahead.
about it. And so we're at Anthony's house, and he's fancy. He's got a big house with a studio in the backyard and a pool and all that stuff, and a bunch of jewelry and cash if you want to come in.
And guns. I also guns.
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. And so one of the things that he has is a fancy electronic Japanese toilet.
Yeah, my wife bought it.
Yeah, and so I've seen it in there a few times, and like there's a remote control up on the cabinet, and you press the flush button.
Yeah.
And I had to take this shit, and so we had to pause. And I'm like, dude, we got to pause. I got to shit right now.
Yeah.
And I went in there for my first time. And guys, I am not young, but this is the first time I've ever used a fancy toilet like that for its intended purpose.
Yeah, it's got a hose that just rams up your asshole and it sucks the shit right out.
Dude.
Yeah,
And
like in
so
space.
The first thing that I noticed as soon as I sat down was the seat was warm.
Yeah, it's got a seat. My wife loves that. So
I don't
for
like
her
it.
butt. You don't
Because-
like it?
no,
It
because
also
it
can be
makes me-
cold, by the way.
Oh, I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Because I don't like when you use a public shitter, I don't like the warm seat because it means I'm following right after somebody else.
Not in this case.
No, not in this case, but it still gives me that feeling.
Okay.
It's dude,
all
I'm
mental.
I'm not saying the toilet's the problem.
Yeah, my
I'm
seat-
the problem.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And so yeah, I didn't like that. Plus, then once I started shitting, with the heat from that seat, it makes it feel like to me like the shits are being cooked.
Plus plus it goes gulp.
Now that I was into.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
shit is good. Yeah. Yum, yum, yum.
So then,
If I made that toilet, that's exactly what it would do. Yeah.
to be
And then it
into
would
it.
burp at the end. Yeah. So this way, when your own shit smell hits you, it would be in
yeah.
the form of a burp.
Oh, that's a good idea,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Oh,
That's
we gotta
probably
get on that.
more of a German toilet, though.
Maybe that's the way they
Yeah.
are. I don't know. So then I finally finished shitting, and there's a flush button, and it flushes.
Yeah,
and
there's
that's
a
kinda fancy.
dryer. It'll
Yeah. Oh,
warm
that's
air
what I forgot
on
to
your
do. The
butthole.
dryer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's time for the bidet,
Yeah.
and
You want to describe it?
I do.
Okay, go
because I have I wash my ass in the shower.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I've gotten used to that.
Sure. Not like
But
this though.
it's not like this.
Yeah.
And this is my first time. And I've heard people say that like you just push the button and it goes right to your butthole.
It does.
And I'm like, well, that can't be because people would sit in different ways.
It's got GPS.
Dude, I push that button and it's like right on the fucking bullseye.
Yeah, right up
Yeah.
the asshole. It gives
Yeah,
you like
it
an
went
enema.
like up my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking wild. And the water was warm. It was
Yeah.
a fancy.
Dude.
And man, that
So,
thing works.
My 6-year-old son used it,
Uh-huh.
and he giggles the whole time. Yeah,
Dude,
it's like
I
the funniest
wanted to
thing in the
giggle.
world.
Yeah.
yeah. The first time it hit me,
Uh-huh.
dude, I was like, "Woohoo! Hey,
Yeah.
hey now,
Wow.
Right? Yeah,
you were right on it.
Yeah, my butthole is sparkling clean. You know, Joe also
yeah.
he when he started using a bidet, he went and got like one. He doesn't have fancy ones. He has ones like you can buy. You just hook it to the toilet.
Yeah, like-
where this one is like built in,
Like the clear rear. Or
yeah.
equivalent.
This one, you have to plug this toilet in. That's how
Right.
fucking awesome this
Yeah.
toilet is.
I couldn't find the vibrating feature.
No, I wish it played music. You know.
Oh, some Japanese toilets do that to cover up the sound of your shitting.
Yeah,
or
that would be
pissing.
great.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Or they make waterfall noises.
It'd be like a band, like
Yeah,
like
with
it's
a lot
the
of
Ohio
tuba.
State, the Ohio State
yeah.
fucking band.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty good.
Play,
yeah.
you could play your favorite fight song. Yeah, that'd be great.
No, that's not me. That's just a baritone sax.
All right.
Oh, good
And
times.
I think with that we're gonna get to our sponsor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dude,
that's good.
any
Yeah.
sponsor would be proud.
Yeah,
to bring
yeah,
this to you.
I'm sure they're thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, the food here is so good that they probably run into a similar problem. Jelly Snot Knockin' Barbecue. With 17 locations nationwide, come see what everyone is raving about. Mention you heard this ad on the Balls Deep podcast, or I'm sorry, on the Scafacciverse
Yeah.
podcast. Dude, we got to update this ad copy.
It's gonna take a minute to adjust.
It is. Mention you heard this ad on the Scafacciverse podcast and get 20% off your pregame victory dessert.
Yeah, they'll probably still accept the other one.
Probably, yeah.
At least for a little while. So,
Yep, exactly. Jelly Snot Knockin' Barbecue. Keep it classy. No buck stuff.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank everybody for joining us. Remember to like, share, rate the podcast. Download. Set yourself to download as soon as the podcast is available so you don't miss an episode. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank Alan Gigax. I am Anthony Scafacci. This has been a Balls Deep production. We are out.